everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Male Perspective. I am your host, Lana Reid, and today, on this day, I have with me a gentleman by the name of Ramon Carter Sr. He is an author, empowerment speaker, educator, entrepreneur, so much more, and I'm looking forward to hearing about everything that he's got going on and the work that he is doing in this world. But first and foremost, Mr. Carter, as I always do, I take a quick moment to pause, say thank you to you for making time for me today. Time is a gift. Once we give it, we cannot get it back. So I appreciate you making space in your day to talk to little old me. And with that, sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Now, before we get started, I want to say congratulations. A little late, but better late than never. I saw that you recently got married, and I just want to say congratulations to you. Now, you were clean as the board of health. I'll give you that. But Mrs. Carter, her dressing and the detailing and the colors, it popped. Was that you or her or both of you decided the theme?
Well, she orchestrated everything, and she just took some of her sequence, some of her dress, and got it put place on my suit.
Yeah, that was I mean, the colors, I was like, that blue was just, I was like, okay, go ahead. All right, y'all was doing it. Carl was putting it together.
2 months. It took 2 months to put it together.
Really? People plan weddings for years.
It took 2 months.
It was her, right? It was all her.
Yeah, I wanted to get away. I wanted to go on a beach somewhere.
Awesome. All right, let me get going because I got a short amount of time and I want to make sure I cover everything that you're doing. I first want to start off with talking about one of your books. Yes, one of your books, but it speaks to your testimony and some of your life story, and that's propelled the life of a 3-time convicted felon. So I was wondering if there you go. That's right. That's a true salesman there. He on point, like bam. Bam! But I was wondering if I could trouble you to kind of share with us some of your testimony, what it is about, if I could trouble you to share with us.
Well, this book right here propelled life of a 3-time convicted felon. Born and raised in the city of New Orleans, I grew up, drugs was around me. So once I got older, I only did what I saw. And the fast food jobs wasn't paying no money, and the guys that I grew up with, they were making a whole lot more money. And so I still stood in school. I was like top 10 of the class. And after I graduated, went to college and like, well, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so long story short, after a period of 10 years of selling drugs, I ended up spending 10 years of my life behind bars. I came up with the concept propelled because after getting my life in order, I placed myself in God's spiritual slingshot. Like we used to make them out of wood and you pull back and release. And so I put myself in God's spiritual slingshot and propelling me to where the sky's the limit. And so therefore, while I was in prison, I began to read. Okay. I wrote everything on psychology, criminal justice, theology. And so when I got out, I got a degree in it. I got a degree in Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice and Psychology. I got the Master's in Christian Education in Criminal Justice and a doctoral, which I just recently received, Doctor of Education, Organizational Leadership from Christian Education.
Go ahead.
I didn't even attend a ceremony or anything because we was told to go to school, get an education so you can get a good job, but it's the gift that makes room for you.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
That's true.
And so me obtaining all of the accolades and everything was not for, the people, it was for my own self gratification that said, I did that. I overcame the odds. I didn't go back got caught up in a recidivism rate in a revolving door. Okay. I got out without excuses and I went and did it. Because I can do anything if I put my mind to it. And so now I just, that's what the book is about. And really, this book, I finished this book before my master's degree, right? And I just saw into my future, right? God gave me a glimpse of my future. And I just started, putting into the pieces of the puzzle together because the book after that went to go in depth on the testimony. And the next book will go in depth, a little deeper into the story.
Next book. So I think I saw 3 books and some books, right?
Yes.
So you're saying next book? So when are we gonna get that one?
I'm planning to release that one in the fall.
Okay.
And that's called A Broken Man.
Oh, and that's that
in his pain.
Okay. So can I get a little glimpse? What?
Well, oftentimes we hear about broken women.
Okay.
But we never hear about the men that's been broken. Mm-hmm. And the reason why so many are broken is because they got in a relationship, they got involved with a man that has been broken unknowingly.
Okay.
And all you know is what you've been taught. And I didn't discover my brokenness until a few years ago. Okay. And going through counseling and therapy. And I'm like, okay, because I was in and out of relationship. Okay. Right. Before I went to prison, excuse the expression, but I was a homo, right? I was making all this money and, taking my car and driving in the garage and park, right? Before anything else. And I only did what I saw. It was normal. It was normal to have a relationship and have somebody around, normal to be married and have somebody else around the corner. It was normal to do those things. And so I only did it, just like a lot of other men have been systematically conditioned to be broken and not to be walk into their purpose or what there was purpose to be, because men are not born, men are shaped and molded. But only way for a man to be a man is being around a man, a God-fearing man, to show him the way. And that's what that book is going to be about.
Awesome. Yeah, the older generation, they got that song, what, Papa was a Rolling Stone. It just it used to be just the kind of common theme in especially our culture, but I see a lot of younger brothers trying to break the cycle, and I'm very thankful for that. Now I want to go back, because I got sidetracked with asking you about the book, talking about your life. And a lot of times when we have brothers and sometimes sisters, and they come in contact with law enforcement and they get put into correctional facilities, like you mentioned, it can become a revolving door. What was it for you, or what moment did you say, Ramon, I can't do this no more. I got to stop this roller coaster ride?
Well, the moment I decided was going to that prison, because it was the first time I went. I'm like, man, I'm not designed. I'm not supposed to be back here. Somebody telling me when to go to sleep, when to wake up.
Gotcha.
You have to take my shower around a bunch of men. I'm like, this is not my life. And I didn't believe in God.
Okay.
Right. As much as I was told about God, I never actually got to know him. Gotcha. And so that time, that last time, I'm like, hey, my mama talked about you, my grandmother, my parents, they talked about you. If you're real, I need you to show up in my life. Now, in Louisiana, 3 strikes, you're out.
Okay.
So I'm a 3-time convicted felon, but God showed up and showed out where I didn't get the time that they would have gave me. The judge saw fit to lower my charge to a possession charge instead of possession with intent to distribute. And so it lessened my charge and gave me a 5-year sentence that had to ran consecutive with the other time that I was on parole time, because I've been arrested before and I was on parole. And so I was excited, and he told me, this is the time for you to read, to study, and took the Bible and shoved it down my throat like fire. In the book, I talk about, I fell off the boat, my dad's boat, before I went to prison. And I had a out of body experience.
Okay.
And I swallowed as much water as I could. I actually died. And the voice came to me in no late and said, it's not your time yet. I came out of the water and I ignored it. But 3 days later, I went to prison. Right? So he saved me. I could have been gone. He saved me. You know what? You're going to do the work, right? So I need to set you aside, away from all of your distractions, for to pour into you what needs to be poured into you. So when you can get out, you can be a representation of me. And from there, I just started dissecting the word And once I got out, I disassociate myself with anything negative. Nobody can come to me talking negative. I'm a true testament that, hey, it can be done. I don't want to hear what you can't do. You can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Now you, I want to piggyback on that because you have a business where there's a lot of man talk. You own a barbershop, right?
Yes.
And so I'm assuming, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I ain't right all the time. But some of the brothers might come in there and they might say, Ramon, I can't do like you. I mean, these streets is calling me. I think I'm gonna have to be in there. What's the word of encouragement to them to say, all money ain't good money, and you need to kind of shift the focus?
But the key to a guy that's on the street is if you want him to get out of the street, you have to have what's this word? Something else for them to do, right? You can't just get a brother out of the street and making money, right? I'm like, because if I can do it, you making all this money, let me show you another way you can do it. Right now, you have Google at your fingertips.
Yes.
Right? Let me show you how to start this business. If you making illegal money, I can show you how to legalize it by getting your LLC, getting your a business number, getting your business name, getting your business number, getting your business account. You want to cut some grass, you want to sell a t-shirt, whatever it is, right? Because at the end of the day, Uncle Sam wants his money. Now, I can show you the way, but you have to be willing. If you have some money, let me show you what to do with the money that you have.
That's
before
right.
Uncle Sam comes and take it.
That's right.
If you be out of it. So you have to have solution to the problem. That's what it's about. That's why our youth is wild right now, because the government, the people of the elite class, they want to say something about a problem, but they don't give solutions to the problem.
No, especially in our communities, we want those nice things. We want those, those things that we see on TV and the advertisements. But, the dynamics of our neighborhoods, we don't have the financial means for that. And sometimes we tiptoe towards ways that are not good for our freedom, should we say. Good for our freedom. Now, you're an entrepreneur, you and the missus, you've got some wonderful things going on that are breaking generational curses, creating generational wealth. And I want to talk about the first one, I think, royal culture.
Royal culture.
What is the theme behind that? And what are you guys doing with that? What is that all about?
Well, royal culture didn't start off as that because I'm also in ministry.
Okay.
It was just RC with Ramon Carter Ministries. Then I downloaded from heaven like 2-something in the morning, and God gave me a vision because I had to take my name off of it.
Okay.
And I don't want to wear nobody else's name, and so I needed the name, and I came up with royal culture because we are of a royal priesthood. We're in a time where there's a misidentification of king and queensmanship. So the royal culture with the lion head, the lion of the tribe of Judah, represents the kingsmanship. The queensmanship, it represents royalty. That no matter who you are, where you came from, that you are a royalty. And so that's where the concept royal culture came from. And I wear a lot of fedora hats, and I wanted my own fedora hat with purple bottoms. Was symbolic of royalty. And so from there, it branched off in t-shirts and shorts and backpacks and stuff like that with the brand. And before I met my wife, and when I met her, she's like, what you need help with, right? And I told her I need help with this. So she pushed it further, because he'll send you a helper.
That's right.
It ain't fit for me alone. I need to send him, create for him a helper, someone that's suitable and compatible to him. That's about to start preaching right there. But that's where all of that comes from, for the royal culture.
All right, yeah, because I saw the backpack. You don't have one of the backpacks around, do you?
This is one of them right here.
Yeah, because I saw one with the lining on the inside.
Yeah, with the lining.
Y'all doing the most. But that's at New Orleans. That's at New Orleans stuff though. New Orleans stuff though. Yeah, y'all
Yes.
doing the most. That's beautiful though. Beautiful, beautiful. And I like that you said the wife came along and she put the finishing touches on that. Now, another thing that you guys are doing together, and I love married couples who understand the assignment. Teamwork makes the dream work. I saw the two of you guys on Instagram on a live, I think, and the energy, just amazing. You guys were giving relationship tips. Was that the Transformation podcast?
Yes.
Is that what you guys do? So how do you guys come together and do that?
Well, a lot of people look to couples. Let's just put it out there. When people see couples doing things, that gives them hope, especially African-American couples. Black love is most definitely needed because the statistics show that a lot of African-American homes are dismantled, right? And so, even there where we are, we just come together and we have fun in doing it. After all, we have communication. I learned from my past relationships, I learned that I need to communicate with my spouse, right? Because this is it. This is it. And so we share with one another daily. And if she cook, I cook, we cook together. And is this, with 8 kids total? All together.
Bless you. That's
there are a lot of adults. Only 3 of them young.
Okay. But still, bless you.
Adults. The youngest is 14, 8, and 10 months.
Still, bless y'all. That's amazing. That's beautiful. Though that is so beautiful. So yeah, I said they're so cute. They just laughing and having a good old time and loving on each other. And like you said, society tends to kind of portray Black love is just a dying breed. So when you see it and you see somebody saying, no, we're still out here and we're still doing it and we're still flourishing. It's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful to see. From a man's perspective, why are Black folks not on the same page when it comes to this relationship thing and marriage? Why are we not getting along?
Because that's where that systematic conditioning comes in, of brokenness, right? Some of the women who've been messed over, and then the men been messed over, and then 2 messed up people try to come together, and they wonder why they're going at war with each other. Case in point, I love a lot of old movies, right? Real warrior movies, 300, and one of my favorites.
Okay.
Whenever the king went out to battle and went to war, right, he would suit up his armor before his queen. Once he leaves out, because he's going on the battlefield, the queen is ruling the kingdom.
Gotcha. Good point.
Well, once he come back home, he takes off his armor before his queen. Beautiful. The reality is, so many kings will leave the home and still have to keep their armor on. But all you know is what you've been taught. They haven't been taught properly. I have a men's conference coming up next month. And we're going to talk about brokenness. We're going to talk about finances, because finances breaks up a lot of relationships, right? But if you're in the will, because we will put ourselves in relation, we will hook ourselves up, right? I know from experience, I want to play God. I want to put myself together with somebody, right? And a lot of people get in relationships out of infatuation.
Yes.
Out of lust.
Yes.
Right? Because it's not the knowledge. Dr. Miles Monroe said it's not love that keeps a marriage, it's knowledge. That was one of our topics. Because once I get to know, the Bible said, and Adam knew his wife.
That's right.
You have to know the person in whom you encountered with before, as you grow in love, but you get to know that person even before you start loving on that person. What makes you fall in love is you getting to know that person. Some things about that person makes you feel wonderful, makes you feel at the top of the world, right? Those little words, that simple touch, the 4 love languages, 5 love languages, whatever. I forgot 5 love languages, right? That, the touch, and all these things here. And when you get to know that person, that love is building. That's why you see some married couples, they'd be like 80, 90 years old, been married for 60 years.
Yes.
And if one passes, not too long did the other one, because they were together for so long, the love was genuine.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's just a lot. Wow. But it can transform. The dynamics of broken relationships can transform.
I hope so. I hope, because I love to see us together. I love to see our couples, and I love to see examples of it. Now, you mentioned you got a men's conference coming up?
Yes, I'm waiting on a date from the pastor. I'm trying to get the date probably at the end of July.
Okay.
It is something that Lord told me to do, put together expeditiously.
Okay.
For the men, and I'm looking forward to at least 200 men in the building.
Okay, because I've ran into some brothers, especially YouTube kind of perpetuates this, where they, we done with it. These women for the streets, we ain't gonna be bothered with it. And it breaks my heart, because we're built for partnership. We're built to be together, and for brothers and sisters to be kind of like, I'm done with it. I just think we need to rewire our brains, but that's why we got Ramon out here doing that. Now, some people might not be picking up on it, but I know, because I was nosy on the Instagram. You a pastor too?
I would be getting elevated pretty soon. I ran from it for so long. I'm like, I don't want to be no pastor. I don't want to deal with these Negroes.
Yeah, we're a little rough.
You gotta, but no matter what, I'm still doing it. It's my everyday life. I tell the brothers, I was talking to them the other day, I said, when y'all see me in here, what I'm doing, I'm all over, right? Because I'm a servant first.
That's right.
I don't like being in the pulpit unless I'm delivering.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I might be outside helping somebody park their car, picking up a piece of paper. I'm doing all of those things because I'm a servant first.
Gotcha.
Right? I don't look for the titles. I'm Ramon Carter. You don't have to call me doctor, pastor, elder, whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me collect. I ain't pressing one. Right? that's my slogan right there. Right? I have to be real, relevant, and relatable. Right? If and I go places, people, church folk. I don't like church folk because they're so spiritually inclined, where they spiritually can't connect to the people.
Gotcha.
They can't connect to the people because they're so uppity. They have spiritual amnesia, right?
Yes. I saw you talk about, and I'm glad you brought that up, spiritual amnesia, because you talked about that on one of your Instagram posts. And it made me think, as I travel around and I go to churches, a lot of times in our communities, some of these churches that have been rocks of the community for like decades, and they're losing membership. They're not reaching the younger generation. And you see a lot of older church folks. And I thought about what you said, spiritual amnesia, like these old folks are forgetting. But I was wondering, could I trouble you to talk about spiritual amnesia real quick again, please?
Oh, well, just like amnesia, a person that has blunt trauma to the head, a traumatic experience or something. Spiritual amnesia is just like that, but in the church sense, a person who once lived a life on the street, but then got miraculously delivered. But they forget where they came from when the youth come into the church. Oh, you don't need to be dressing like that. You let the Holy Spirit deal with it. That's not your job to tell them what to do and not to do. As they come in, the Spirit is going to touch them.
Yes.
Don't take that hat off in the church. The Spirit going to touch them, right? Let them get in there first.
That's right.
Just let them come. The young lady who got the high skirt on, over a period of time, you just give her a little blanket, the little skirt thing, and cover her legs or something. She will transform over a period of time. Right? It ain't going to happen all of a sudden. After they begin to observe it through observation, they will begin to transform. True. That's all. And some of the churches, I talk about them. They get on my nerves with it. I'm like, man, no, that ain't right. That ain't what the words say. Jesus ain't mean that. He ain't mean that. He said just what he said. So what are you doing?
And you're running more young folks away from the church than you bringing them in. And, you know, I mean, there's only so much you can look at old pastor so-and-so, old deacon so-and-so, and old sister so-and-so. And like, we ain't got no congregation. We ain't got no members. We're not bringing nobody to the Lord or anything like that because you got all these little uppity ways about you. So, you know.
A lot of them creating spiritual incest, supposed to be the pastor, spiritual father, you know, mingling and mangling with the congregation. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
They need to get their mind right. I tell them, I ain't, you know, I'm from the street. I keep it real, keep it gutter, keep it real, keep it Christ. And I'm the same person from the street. I just have a different outlook on life. You know, and you have to be real, relevant, and relatable. That's why a lot of people will come to me with their question. I talk to a lot of women because I once lived their lifestyle.
Gotcha.
Right? And now I can identify, no, that's not right. You know, no, he playing games. Right? Don't trade in your crown for a clown. Right? I get that from my bishop, R.C. Blake's.
New home.
Yes.
Oh, okay. You know, I'm in LA, but I do watch New Home on online quite often. So I love New Home. Samuel Blake's, Bishop Blake's, Bolden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Y'all my people. Except for like I say, except for the Dallas Cowboys, but you know, we're gonna get past that. So the missus is not here. Is she somewhere around?
No, she's at work.
Oh man, so I got that. So before we wrap up here, I guess I want to say from a man's perspective, how did you know she was the one? And if she was here, how would she say she knew you were the one?
Well, I remember she told me she was doing face masks. I've been knowing of her, but I never really looked at her. I looked at her, but I didn't really look at her. And she never was interested in short guys, right? She's taller than me. And so I was in a relationship and it didn't work out. And so I just said, you know what? I was dating a couple of people here and there. And I said, hey, you know, where you at? You know, she came over to my house, her and her son and her daughter-in-law. I had cooked. I cooked, you know, ate the food and everything. But she told me something after the fact. She said when she came to my house, she said she went in my room because I had to go downstairs. I had a condo. She went in my room and laid in my bed and smelling my cologne. She said, oh, he's like to smell good. She said, God said, that's your husband right there, right? And so we finally, you know, with that, you know, we went on a date and everything. And so now by this time, I'm like, you know what? I began to process of elimination, eliminate the other people that I was dating, and focus on her. And so, long story short, you know, when it just, I was comfortable, and I wasn't doing the same thing that I used to do.
I love it.
We just, you know, we just grew on one another, right? And it just was you know, amazing. You know, she switched her wigs up. She said, nigga like he cheating. Switch his wigs up and stuff like that.
If you need salad today or you need soup tomorrow, I'm gonna be them all for you, okay?
Red, green, purple, black, blind.
I ain't mad. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Like I said, I love to see us, you know, finally come together and work it out because the society tries to tell us that we're not loving on each other. So, and, you know, I encourage anybody to go watch the Carters online because they are hilarious. The two of them together, just, I mean, you guys are entertaining. I hopefully, you know, I'll check back in on you guys in a couple of years and you guys will be giving those other Carters a run for their money. That, you know, the rapper and the girl that sings, you know, y'all will be giving them a run for their money. So, you know, I'm circle back and see y'all in a couple of years.
Oh yes, we are on top and going higher.
There you go. Now, let me ask you this before I do my random question. if a brother or sister found themselves in New Orleans and they were in need of a barber, a cut, how do they book a seat in the chair?
I book them when I cut hair. I book them through Style Seat. They can go to Style Seat for get booked.
Okay.
That's how I only operate through Style Seat, and they'll look up Ramon Carter on
Okay.
Style Seat for that. Because I be in and out of town.
Okay. All right. I ain't mad at you, brother. Yeah, because I saw you recently had a journey to the Motherland.
Yes.
Yeah, so you moving and grooving. What brought you to the Motherland?
I was the keynote speaker at the #1 college.
Go on, brother, with your bad self.
Dissadale College is an all-boy college. They call it a college, but it's a high school. And all of the politicians, Senate boys there, Dissadale, and I thought it was like a regular, school or whatever. But once I got there, my wife said, do you know about this school? She said, I think you need to do some quick research. So before I went, while I was out there, I had to research. And looking at the high school campus was the size of a college campus. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I had to understand how it was there. And I'm like, okay. And I would talk about behaviors and attitudes, discipline and behaviors.
Awesome.
So it was awesome. And then I spoke at a church, one of the second largest churches over there. Awesome. And the guy said, man, he has something else to say. You need to bring him back. and on the Channel 5 news over there, and they treat you like royalty.
Awesome.
It's just phenomenal. I believe every parent should send a child there.
Awesome. I love it, because I'm pretty sure there's some people in New Orleans who probably wrote Ramon Carter off, and we can say, look at me now, look at me now, look at me now, right? Awesome. I love it. Let me ask my random question, and then I'm going to ask you to tell how we get the book, how we can keep our eyes on the conference you got coming up, just in how we purchase the gear and all of that stuff. So let me see what we got here. We can have Miss Carter design or plan our next wedding for us, because she did that with that one. Let's see here.
Yeah, she did. She do all that.
Oh, well, you cook, so let's see what we got here. Okay, the question is, best place you've had a burger at?
In New Orleans?
Anywhere.
The best place to have a burger, they're not open anymore. But that's if it's a restaurant, I would say, I forgot the name of the place. Don't judge me. I like them at home. I like them at home.
I was getting ready to say, he's probably going to say at home. No,
yeah, I like them at home.
No words. I understand. All righty, dear. So tell us how we pick up the books, how we purchase the products, how we connect with you, all of that stuff. Just give us all a rundown.
All right. So to purchase the Royal Culture merchandise, you can go to www.royalculture75.com. Same thing on Instagram is Royal Culture 75. If you want to purchase the books, you can either go to www.ramon-carter.com, or you can Google my name on input my name on Amazon. All of the books available on Amazon. And I just got a new shipment of books. So go to www.ramon-carter.com and you can get your books. I believe I had a sale on the books, like two books for $25. That's the Power of Transformation and Prepare.
Okay. Now that was the one, Power of Transformation. It came with a workbook too, right?
This one with the workbook, I believe is like 20.
Okay.
With the workbook, like 20. So I'm gonna have to create a bundle deal for all three.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back when I get off of here. I'm gonna go back in there and probably do it for like both books and a workbook for probably about $30 or something like that.
Okay. And so we coming out of COVID. So when the next one drops, we're gonna have book signings and all of that stuff.
Yes, I'm about to actually do another book signing. I was just thinking getting some places in place, because I have to do with the Propel. I have to do another book signing with that. Really, I was going to redo some things and scratch out Life of a Three-Time Convicted Felon.
Okay.
And add to it really both books. This and elaborate everything not in the book. Everything gonna be like one-on-one in the conference or the class or something.
Awesome. Well, sir, I mean, I know you get it all the time, but I'm so proud of everything that you were doing. Kudos for me. Keep on doing the amazing stuff that you were doing. You and Mrs. Carter, like I said, I'm expecting to come back in a few years, and you guys are outpacing the mother Carters. And I'm just for me, I'm just so amazed with everything that you were doing, and many blessings to you. And eight, you said?
Yeah, it's 8, 226, 24, 22, 21, 18, 14, 8, and 10 months.
Awesome. We'll create that generational wealth, propel the next generation into blessings. And maybe one day I'll have to check you out giving a sermon or something like that. But many blessings to you and the missus and the whole entire family. Kudos to you. I'm just impressed. So
I appreciate it very much.
That's all for this week's episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and I will see everybody next time.